11 Republican candidates on stage right now making their case for their party's nomination during the second GOP debate. And while only one can take the top spot, is it conceivable that when the general election rolls around, the nominee will choose a running mate from the group joining him or her on stage? For more, let's welcome in the noted Republican strategist Ford O'Connell, who is standing by at Newsmax Washington, pried himself away from the television to appear on television right now. What about the Veep stakes? Is the eventual nominee and the number 2 person on stage right now?
Absolutely. Whoever wins this nomination is going to have to pick one of these folks who's currently also on the stage, but there's going to have to be a little bit of a kumbaya moment after they basically pummel each other into a bloody pulp. I do think what the Republican nominee is going to be looking for, if it's someone like Trump who appeals to white working class voters, they're probably going to look for someone like Marco Rubio who does well with Hispanics.
Well, let me just challenge that on the basis of the electoral map and just where the party is right now. Trump is Mr. Outside. If you're looking for someone who has Washington experience and also an electoral vote-rich resume, that would have to be John Kasich, born in McKees Rocks, Pennsylvania, and then, of course, very successful in Ohio, being elected to Congress for a total of 18 years, and a total of 9 terms, and then 2 terms as governor of that state. And because those states are so critical in terms of the electoral vote total, that would probably be the combination that I think you'd see if Trump is at the top of the ticket.
Well, I definitely agree. It is Kasich or Rubio. Look, Florida and Ohio are the 2 most important states. There's only 7 in play, and if you can't win both Florida and Ohio as a Republican nominee, you can't walk right back in the White House. I would say if Trump is not the nominee and it's Kasich or Rubio, you can bet that the other one will pick the other person.
Really? So you think, wow. See, because we had Phyllis Schlafly on this program last night talking about Carly Fiorina. And Carly has had such a presence on stage and is so effective going after Hillary Clinton and the Democrats. Phyllis Schlafly says, you know, she might be a great number 2 pick.
I agree with Phyllis. She has a great, possibility of being the number 2. Again, it depends on who the nominee is. Understand why Carly's so effective. Besides actually talking about why her record would be good to manage America, she is a great attack dog against Hillary Clinton and someone who can jujitsu Hillary into turning around women issues. But understand that Hillary's target vote is unmarried women under 50, a group that's not traditionally gone to Republicans and hasn't since the 1960s.
Well, that does make for a challenge. Just one other thought, and we don't want this to all rest on Donald Trump, and yet he's been so compelling in this race thus far. The Ted Cruz reaction to Trump, appearing at different venues with Trump, always being nice. What's the Cruz MO? To be there to pick up the pieces, or to be there as the running mate?
Well, hailing from the South, what he's doing is he's drafted him just like in NASCAR, and he's hoping that eventually that Donald Trump is going to implode. But if Donald Trump doesn't implode, then Ted Cruz is going to find himself with no voters backing him. He's basically trying to capture the outsider Trump vote should Trump go away.
Yeah, but if that does not happen and Trump becomes the nominee, it seems like he likes Ted Cruz an awful lot. Couldn't you see a Trump-Ted Cruz ticket?
I cannot see a Trump-Ted Cruz ticket. I could see Ted Cruz becoming the Attorney General under Trump, but not a Trump-Ted Cruz ticket, because what I need is 2 groups of people. I need someone who's fluent in Spanish and someone who appeals to white working class voters, because if I don't have those 2 things, it's going to be real hard to get to 270 electoral votes.
Interesting requirements. By the way, Ted is fluent in Spanish. Now, one other note, across the aisle, the current Vice President, Joe Biden, taking his shots at Republicans yesterday. Let's take a listen, then we'll get your reaction.
There's one guy absolutely denigrating an entire group of people, appealing to the baser side of human nature, working on this notion of xenophobia in a way that hasn't occurred in a long time.
Oh, there's Biden speaking out against those who take illegal immigration to task. Is that going to be the standard line, whomever the Democratic nominee is? About 1 minute.
Yes, that has been the standard line that Republicans despise minorities and immigrants. What I think that Joe Biden misses is this is about citizens and non-citizens and not having non-citizens avail themselves of our laws and our benefits to the detriment of American citizens. So it's up to Republicans to make the case that, guess what, this is about protecting citizens who are struggling all across this country.
Well, we'll see if Vice President Biden gets into the race. Of course, you'll recall back in 2008, he wasn't interested in being vice president, but when the call came from Senator Obama, then Senator Biden said yes. Ford O'Connell.
He has Hillary petrified, J.D.
We'll see what happens. He may very well get into this thing. Ford, thanks for your time this evening. The vice presidency. John Adams called it an irrelevancy, or something close to that. Your feelings on the Veep stakes, we'd love to get them from you. You can write me, maybe correcting my historical quotes, at newsmaxtv.com/comments. I always thought that number 2 job was a pretty good job. There's more ahead, so stay with us.